pleasant day to all our listeners and subscribers of the Radyo Z-eskwela and Z Radio FB live streaming. Welcome back, senior high school students. This is another learning episode of the course subject Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. I am your course presenter, Ma'am EMMALYN CATUBIG, and with me is the course content developer, Ma'am Christian Jane BATUCAN. Now, this week learning episode is entitled Socialization Process, Its Influence and Impact to People. Learning Competency. Explain the context, content, processes, and consequences of socialization. The learning objectives are: define socialization and identify its goals. Distinguish the different social development theories in relation to socialization process, and recognize the influence of each agent of socialization on the individual. Alright, students, listen attentively to our lesson because the topic covers a comprehensive discussion. Now, get ready for our first activity. Get a piece of paper. Here is what you're going to do. As a grown-up individual, which social skills you think you need to improve? Write a check mark to a sentence that is true for you. Number 1. I have a hard time understanding how people are thinking or feeling. I have a hard time understanding how people are thinking or feeling. Number 2. I don't work well with other people. I don't work well with other people. Number 3. I cannot keep friends for a long time. I cannot keep friends for a long time. Number 4. I avoid talking to people because I don't know what to say. I avoid talking to people because I don't know what to say. Number 5. I have a hard time controlling the volume of my voice. I have a hard time controlling the volume of my voice. Number 6. I invade people's personal space sometimes. I invade people's personal space sometimes. And number 7. People often tell me that I need to act my age. People often tell me that I need to act my age. Great job, students! Thank you for giving an honest answer. Now, after doing activity 1, how do you feel? Are you resolved to work out some things to start improving your social skills? As a social being, we learn a great deal from those people most important in our lives: immediate family members, best friends, and teachers. But we also learn from people we see on street, on television, films, and magazines. This is what we call socialization. Socialization occurs through human interactions. It affects the overall cultural practices of society, and it also shapes our self-images. Now consider these situations. What would happen if a child was reared in a total isolation from other people? Social scientists have investigated feral and isolated children to answer this question. Feral children are assumed to be abandoned by their parents at an early age and raised by animals. These children allegedly act like a wild animal, but in reality, they were probably raised by their parents as infants, but then abandoned because of mental retardation or due to other circumstances. On the other hand, isolated children showed what humans might be like if secluded from society at an early age. For example, a child isolated in a room with a deaf-mute mother until age 6 appeared severely retarded. The child had been unable to develop into an intelligent human. Apparently, the given illustrations signify that warm, intimate interaction is essential to vital aspects of human development: biological, mental, emotional, moral, and social growth. Babies do not naturally develop into human adults. Human interaction is necessary to acquire the normal human traits. Children need to be surrounded by people who care for them. Only then they can develop into social adults within the limit set by their nature. Thus, society through socialization makes us human. To delve more of the topic, let us define socialization. Socialization, according to Anthony Giddens, an English sociologist, he defines socialization as the process whereby the helpless infant gradually becomes a well-aware, knowledgeable person, skilled in the ways of the culture into which he is born. Why is socialization important? The means by which social and cultural continuity are attained. The culture bearers learn their culture's body of knowledge and skills through education, training, exposure, and experience. Socialization is important for individual because it provides the skills and habits for acting and participating within the society. What is the goal of socialization? The goal of socialization is to prepare humans to function in social life, particularly in the impulse control and development of conscience, rule preparation and performance, and cultivation of sources of meaning. It is significant to note that socialization is not a kind of cultural programming that is passive, meaning a child from the beginning is an active being. As such, the child has needs or demands that affect the behavior of those responsible for his care. Other definition of socialization is: it is the basic social process through which an individual becomes integrated into a social group by learning the group's culture and his role in the group. For example, in a pre-modern society in Ifugao, a child learns how to plant rice by becoming an apprentice to his father, a skilled farmer, not from a structured or formal agricultural school. Another example is Wang Ud, the oldest living tattoo artist of the ethno-linguistic community in the province of Kalinga. Wang Ud is training two of her blood relatives to be mambabatok, or the art of hand-tap tattoo. Now, what are the different social development theories in relation to socialization process? We all have various perceptions, feelings, and beliefs about who we are and what we are like. How do we come to develop this? The following social development theories have the answer. Charles Horton Cooley, an American sociologist, developed the looking glass self as a social psychological concept that emphasizes the self as a product of our social interaction with others. The term looking glass self was first used by Cooley in his work Human Nature and the Social Order in 1902. He described the process whereby human development is created by interaction with others. His looking glass self involved 3 steps. Step 1. We imagine how we look to others. In other words, we imagine how others see us. The other step, we interpret others' reaction, meaning how they evaluate us. In this process, you imagine the judgment of the other person. And the other step, we develop a self-concept, meaning you feel some sense of pride, happiness, guilt, or shame. In other words, self-concept is a general term used to refer to how we think about, evaluate, or perceive ourselves. For illustrative example of Cooley's looking glass self, say a man contemplating himself. How my college friend sees me. How my boss sees me. How my parents see me. And how my online friends see me. Other social development theory is by Herbert Mead, an American sociologist who referred to how others think of us as the generalized other. Mead considered play as a critical to the development of self because it is during play that children learn to take the role of others. According to Mead, there are 3 distinct stages of development. Number 1, he calls it preparatory stage. The children merely imitate people around them. In the other stage, known as the play stage, this is the stage of role-taking. And stage 3 is known as the game stage, wherein it considers several actual tasks and relationships. Therefore, the self is the distinctive identity that sets us apart from others. The generalized others means the attitudes, viewpoints, and expectations of society as a whole that a child takes into account in his or her behavior. The significant other means an individual who is most important in the development of the self. Alright, stay tuned. We will be right back after this short break.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Alright, welcome back. This is the subject understanding culture, society, and politics. I would like to point out the next social development theory. Erving Goffman is a renowned Canadian psychologist and sociologist who developed the social action theory. Students, surely this has happened to you too. Every time you see a friend or acquaintance, you always ask them, how are you? Or kumusta na? Because you want to know how are they doing. Now a friend or an acquaintance will often tell you that life is going great. If you pay attention anytime you get on social media, you will find an infinite number of profiles that reflect prosperity. You may believe on them or not. It is interesting to gain perspectives in the face of this partial and twisted showcase of our lives from the point of view of Erving Goffman's social action theory. Goffman's social action theory states that a good part of each person's behavior depends on their relationships with others. Moreover, it states that human behavior depends on personal scenarios and relationships. Therefore, we are all immersed in a constant handling of our image before the rest of the world. This interaction that each individual performs with his environment pushes him to seek the definition of each situation with the aim of achieving control over it. In this way, we try to handle the impressions that others are going to form about us. We could say that we are actors playing our role in front of an audience of one or more people. We all try to project an image favorable to others. Whether we seek to like, please, sympathize, be hated, we all try to be consistent with the intended image. In their acting capacity, individuals are concerned about maintaining the impressions that they meet many rules and can judge them. Each individual manages the relationships by trying to project ideal public image. For example, we want to like and get along with someone, therefore, we will create and project an image toward that person with what we consider to be the best of ourselves. Going deeper into this theory and its examples, psychologists like Rafael Ramirez Lago consider it excellent to study the projections that we put into our social media profiles. We could say that we seek to create our own presentations that reflect a positive image through videos and photographs that show our happiness. Thus, the theory of social action would explain the different roles we create depending on the demand of each of our social interactions and the image we want to project. We would seek benefits, find a good social accommodation, and ultimately locate our place in the world. We are all like merchants of morality. For Goffman, these types of interactions give way to a game of representation. These representations would never transmit our real identity, but the identity we dream of, want, or desire. In other words, you could consider someone to be a kind of public relations version of himself. We use our interpretations as a marketing campaign to show others our best. And so, let us again recall the social development theories we have just discussed, namely, Cooley's looking glass self-concept, Mead's concept of the self, generalized others, and significant others, and Goffman's social action theory. These theories or concepts were developed from the lens of sociological as well as psychological perspectives to help us understand more of human social development. Alright, this time, we move on to the agents of socialization. Family, the most important agent of socialization. Our experiences in the family have a lifelong impact on us, laying on a basic foundation of sense of the self-motivation, values, and beliefs. Lifelong process begins shortly after birth. Since newborns can hear, see, smell, taste, and feel heat, cold, and pain, they are constantly orienting themselves to the surrounding world. Human beings, especially family members, constitute an important part of their social environment. School. As an agent of socialization, it fulfills the function of teaching children the values and customs of the larger society. The school is the first agent of socialization controlled by non-relatives. Religion plays a major role in the socialization. Even if you are not raised in a religious family, religion influences morality, ideas about dress, speech, and other appropriate manners. Peer group, the first agent of socialization controlled by non-adults. Peer group is a group of persons of roughly the same age who are linked by common interest. Next to the family, peer groups are the most powerful socializing force in the society. Peers often introduce new experiences to a child. Within a peer group, children escape the direct supervision of adults. They are able to talk more freely with topics they may not be comfortable discussing with adults. Peer pressure, both positive or negative, is a reality of the peer group dynamic. In adolescence, there is tremendous pressure to conform to the group to experience the feeling of belonging. Mass media and technology. In contemporary societies, mass media such as television, newspaper, and magazines shape our attitudes, values, and other basic orientation to life. Television has tremendous impact on public viewers. Research indicates that children who are more exposed to TV violence are more likely to be aggressive. Due to such exposure, many social analysts have become concerned with the content of what the children see, especially violence. Meanwhile, technology has made us more withdrawn from social settings. We have become very occupied, especially with social media. Teens with lower self-esteem become more dependent on social networking sites where they feel they have more supportive friends. The growth and popularity of the social network is undeniable. The expansion of information and communications technology is creating new communication scenarios in which social networks, virtual worlds, and games are proliferating as a means of interaction. These digital media catch the attention of children and adolescents, being a common phenomenon among them the use of social networks to contact and communicate with friends. Social networks integrate interpersonal communication and mass communication, offering many benefits to users. However, social networking sites, as it is known among young people and adults, are transformed into virtual worlds. These are becoming more popular and lead children to spend large amount of time in front of technology, creating significant changes in social practices. These platforms take a playful role, especially combining play and technology. Workplace, a major agent of socialization for adults. From jobs, we learn not only skills but also matching attitudes and values. Next, corollary is the concept of re-socialization. Re-socialization refers to learning new norms, values, attitudes, and behaviors voluntarily or involuntarily. Voluntary re-socialization is learning something contrary prior to experiences, such as may be involved in taking a new job. Involuntary re-socialization, according to Erving Goffman, who coined the term total institution, it refers to a place, for example, prisons, DSWD, and asylum, where people are cut off from the rest of the society and under total control. It isolates the individual from outside influences or information. It suppresses previous rules, statuses, and norms and replaces them with new rules and values. Alright, we finally have covered our lesson for today. Socialization process, its influence and impact to people. I want you to get ready for the next activity, which is the multiple choice assessment. Listen carefully as I read the question. Write only the letter of the correct answer. Are you ready? Here we go. Number 1. What do sociologists call a continuing process whereby individuals acquire personal identities and learn the norms, values, behaviors, and social skills appropriate to his or her social position? A. Sociology. B. Culture. C. Socialization. D. Assimilation. What do sociologists call a continuing process whereby individuals acquire personal identities and learn the norms, values, behaviors, and social skills appropriate to his or her social position? Correct answer is C. Socialization. Number 2. Which agent of socialization has the most impact on our development? A. Education. B. Mass media. C. Family. D. Peer group. Which agent of socialization has the most impact on our development? Correct answer is C. Family. Number 3. Breaking with the past experiences and learning new values and norms. A. Re-socialization. B. Socialization. C. Internalization. D. Assimilation. Breaking with the past experiences and learning new values and norms. The correct answer is A. Re-socialization. Number 4. Which of the following is an example of total institution? A. A day camp. B. A public university. C. A prison. D. A hospital emergency room. Which of the following is an example of total institution? Correct answer is C. A prison. Number 5. Which of Mead's 3 stages of the development of self comes first? A. Imitation. B. Play. C. Games. Again, which of Mead's 3 stages of the development of self comes first? The correct answer is A. Imitation. Number 6. Imagining how we appear to others is called A. Restrictive behavior. B. The generalized others. C. Nature versus nurture. D. The looking glass self. Imagining how we appear to others is called. The correct answer is D. The looking glass self. 7. Race without a cultural environment. A. Me. B. Tabula rasa. C. Feral. D. Looking glass self. Race without a cultural environment. The correct answer is C. Feral. Number 8. Which of the following is not an agent of socialization? A. Mother. B. Pets. C. Friends. D. Television. Which of the following is not an agent of socialization? Correct answer is B. Pets. Number 9. Which of the following things is normally learned during the socialization process? A. The rules we are to play in life. B. The culture's norms. C. The languages of the people around us. D. All of the above. Which of the following things is normally learned during the socialization process? The correct answer is D. All of the above. And number 10. Which agents of socialization exposes us to real-world situations and people? A. Peer groups. B. Mass media. C. Family. D. School. Which agent of socialization exposes us to real-world situations and people? The correct answer is B. Mass media. Great job, students! We will be right back after a short break.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Welcome back. And now we come to the concluding part of the topic. Again, socialization is the process by which individuals in their interactions with others develop ways of thinking, feeling, and acting that are essential for their effective participation in society. Socialization occurs throughout life, or we also call this one as life course. The series of major events, the stages of our lives from birth to death, is called the life course. An individual's life course is influenced by history, social position, and culture. Now, you have also learned that the process of socialization during childhood is extremely important for the development and maturation of the child. This is the basis on which the child builds future relationships. According to the theories of social development, socialization occurs through the process of discovery, linking, and acceptance, in which the child interacts with his environment to achieve the acquisition of habits, social rules, norms, knowledge, and values that society demands and are transmitted through various social agents. Socialization is culturally relative. That is, people in different cultures are socialized differently. On the other hand, re-socialization is profound transformation of personality arising from being placed within a situation or environment that is not conducive to maintaining a previous identity. Re-socialization is the process by which one's sense of social values, beliefs, and norms are re-engineered. Some choose re-socialization or transformation of personality by entering a monastery or a nunnery, while others have it forced on them by being sentenced to penitentiary. After re-socialization, the transformed personality is a product of these environments, and this re-socialization comes from interacting with others and performing the rules required in this setting. I hope that you have learned so much on this topic. For more information, kindly check our listed references in books and online sources. Alright, happy learning everyone. Once again, thank you so much for listening and subscribing in Radyo Z-eskwela. This is again your course presenter, Ma'am EMMALYN Tangal CATUBIG. And of course, with me in this noble project and endeavor is my colleague and course content developer, Ma'am Christian Jane P. BATUCAN. I am so thankful to her for her amazing talent and creative mind, especially in the making of this PowerPoint presentation. We would like also to express our gratitude to the following: the overall members of the committee of the RBI Davao de Oro Division, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Euphemia Gamutin; to the Education Program Supervisor of Araling Panlipunan, Dr. Grace Puntillas; to our Public Schools District Supervisor, Pantukan North District, Dr. Florlinda Dinopol; to our school administrators of Pantukan National High School, the school principal, Ma'am Emalinda Ranalan; and to our dynamic assistant school principal, Ma'am Chelo Hazel Ann Bayani. Special thanks as well to our RBI expert editor, Ma'am CD, to Sir Jester and Ariel Pescadero, and to Ma'am Emerald Del Rosario. We humbly dedicate this noble project to our loving family in Senior High School Department. Also, most especially to our dearest family, the Tangal, CATUBIG, and the Punsalan, BATUCAN family. Thank you so much, students, for the inspiration, and above all, to God be the glory. Until next learning episode of the course, Understanding Culture, Society, and Politics. Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and to God be the glory.
Radyo Z-eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.